Welcome to Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes. We are back with a talk video, and it looks like I need to finish watching Ahsoka because I had no idea we had zombie troopers. We're going to be breaking down the Night Troopers kit reveal, taking a look at the developer insights, the tips, analyze the kit, look at the gearing requirements, and we're taking our first steps towards GL Ahsoka. We've got other posts about that, breaking down the requirements, relic levels, all that stuff in the road ahead, and we'll throw a link to that at the end of the video as well. The Night Trooper is our first of the GL Ahsoka marquees, and he arrives as an Imperial Remnant Night Sister attacker. With the attributes and tips portion, he is going to bring a new debuff Blight, which will have some similarities with Plague, a new buff Alert, which synergizes with Turn Meter, and the special abilities of our allies. Manipulating Turn Meter will trigger the effects of Blight, and he will be resilient and benefits from potency since Blight can be resisted. And now for our process of analyzing these kits. The basic Shambling Shot. Physical damage to the target, inflict Night Trooper with a stack of Blight. If the attack scores a critical hit, inflict healing immunity. If the Night Trooper has Blight at the start of his turn, inflict speed down on the target and remove 10% turn meter. And Blight, what this does is minus 100% health steal, and this character takes bonus true damage whenever they lose turn meter from an enemy. Remove all stacks of Blight when this character recovers to full health. That is a condition like Plague. There's three important things happening with this ability. One is the self-inflicted Blight. That is going to directly tie back into the second special. Two, the turn meter removal when you target someone with Blight. Speed down is just a bonus, not what matters. And third is the bonus true damage to the characters with Blight when that turn meter is removed from an enemy. And all this is really important to be aware of because it's going to directly impact how we understand everything else in this kit, and this is a powerful basic ability. The first special, March of the Undying, this is a cooldown of 3, AoE physical damage, and Night Trooper gains Alert. The enemy with the least turn meter is stunned and inflicted with Vulnerable, and AoE remove 5% turn meter from all other enemies, and we will call a target other ally to assist. We need to remember that Vulnerable guarantees critical hits, and future marquees may build off of this synergy, but for the moment, this ties back to the basic ability where a critical hit inflicts healing immunity. So we get stacking effects here. Healing immunity will prevent the healing, which will remove Blight, same conditions as Plague, and this ability removes turn meter so that characters with Blight get true damage. Alert, the new buff, whenever an ally gains bonus turn meter while not at 100% turn meter, the Night Trooper gains 10% turn meter, and the Night Trooper assists whenever an ally uses a special ability. Now that's a cool mechanic because it's a nice zombie concept where another zombie prompts the behavior of another zombie. That's solid design, and it adds to the speed that this character is going to be operating under. The second special, Share My Suffering, this is a cooldown of 4. Now this is written terribly, and I'm not entirely sure that I have this accurate. It's a disaster of a sentence, but here's what I think is happening. For each stack of Blight on the Night Trooper, maxing out at 10, deal physical damage and inflict the target enemy with Blight. Now, if that interpretation is correct, that is how CG should have written it. Now, the next portion is then remove 100% turn meter from the target, AoE inflict enemies with crit chance down, and this turn meter removal is important. If the character already had Blight, because Blight is dealing bonus true damage for the turn meter. So there is a lot of damage happening with this ability, both directly and indirectly. This could be a very big attack. The unique ability, Inevitable End, this is a Zeta and Omicron ability. Night Trooper has plus 35% potency, and capitalize on that potency. CG has already hinted at Blight being resistible, so with mods we're probably talking potency set, potency cross, and add as much potency speed and critical chance secondaries as you can grab. Whenever the Night Trooper is damaged, they're going to gain 10% offense stacking and 5 speed stacking, maxing out to 100 for 1 turn, or until they are critically hit. That might hint that in the future one of these marquees are going to prevent prevent critical hits. The next portion, whenever an enemy recovers health, Night Trooper recovers 100% health. Now this sounds fun and annoying. So any amount of healing that is happening is going to fully recover the Night Trooper, and managing that sounds like a pain. And it's going to be a good amount of resilience on the Night Trooper. Next, to make sure the Night Trooper isn't broken, enemies can't recover health from health steal when targeting Night Trooper. Otherwise, he would just be infinitely gaining 100% health. At the start of Night Trooper's turn, they gain 10% critical damage and defense penetration per stack of Blight for a turn. And whenever a Night Trooper reaches 5 stacks of Blight, they gain Frenzy. And if we break this down, we have Alert, where if Alert is on the Night Trooper, he is going to be assisting. Whenever he's assisting, he's using his basic, which means he's getting a stack of Blight. So potentially, under that condition, he's assisting when all of his allies are taking turns, getting a stack of Blight each time, which will eventually trigger Frenzy, and if another special is used, you're going to get a bonus turn from the Night Trooper. So this, you can see how fast things can be getting here. The Omicron, this is nice. We have a Grand Arena Omicron. Night Trooper has plus 100% max health and plus 35 speed. Night Trooper is immune to turn meter reduction. And that condition right there seems almost mandatory because we need to remember how Blight works. When someone with Blight has turn meter removed, they get dealt bonus true damage. And since the Night Trooper is self-inflicting Blight, and a lot of it, that could very quickly take out the Night Trooper. So this Ami means one negative consequence of Blight is disabled for the Night Trooper. The next portion here is if the ally in the leader slot is an Imperial Remnant, inflict a stack of Blight until the encounter end at the start of each Imperial Remnant ally's turn to a random enemy. And whenever an enemy is inflicted with Blight this way, reduce the cooldown of Share My Suffering. And these conditions are also very powerful. It means on an Imperial Remnant squad, Blight is spreading all around very quickly, which also means the Night Trooper has a lot of opportunities to capitalize on the effects and the synergies of his special. It means Share My Suffering is going to be available often, which will constantly be removing turn meter from the target and doing large damage. I'm putting this Ami on straight away, and I won't be surprised to see this work at low stars. We will be testing this out with the Zerg Remnants regardless, and in terms of the Night Sister tag that exists, I don't see a single reason to use the Night Troopers with Night Sisters. When it comes to our gear breakdown, this is a little harder to see with this new format, but the Night Trooper, pretty easy to gear. When it comes to taking the Night Trooper up to gear 11, there's only 2 sets of Kairos, which is slightly below average. It's usually between 2 and 3, most are 3. We see 1 set of Kairos at gear 9, another at gear 10. That brings us to that gear 11 staging ground where we can experiment with them while we work on farming stars. Then we get to gear 12, which is a little bit harder. This is slightly above average, I'd say. It has a lot of high frequency pieces like the Mark 12 Fusion Furnace, the med packs, the stun cuffs, and it has the Cairo Prod finisher, which is the more common high frequency of the 2 of them. But it could be worse. There's plenty of characters who are harder to gear than this. Night Trooper, I am very excited for. I think we're going to be able to experiment with them right away and see some interesting results. We'll put a video for the road ahead right here, and then in terms of the raid, that's going to wait a couple days because my guild can't run it yet, and then Datacron video we'll have tomorrow. So thank you for watching. Be excellent to each other, everybody. This is still Plays Galaxy of Heroes.